Hello YouTube, Dave here again. It's been quite a while since my last video. I want to thank everyone for their support and their patience. Basically what's kind of been happening, I know I touched on this a little bit in the last video I did back in November, but November and December were very kind of hectic and busy months. In November there was this overtime incentive that was offered through my work, where if you did a certain number of hours a week, in addition to the extra pay for the extra hours, they also gave out some gift cards that, if you did it for the full month, a certain number of hours a week throughout the entire month, it worked out to about $300. So that was something that, was very crucial to kind of helping us with our Christmas, the things that we wanted to do for that. So November was pretty much a write-off for me. I spent every single week working, 50 hours a week or more, 6 days out of the week. So I'd get the one day off, and on that one day off, I'd be so, just mentally burned out. Not so much physically, but mentally burned out that I didn't have the energy or the drive to do anything other than just kind of try to rest and relax. When just that was over in at the end of November, but early December, I started working some weekend shifts as like floor support. I work at a call center, so that threw off the first couple of weeks of December, and then everything after that was just getting ready for the Christmas season, the holiday season, which entailed a lot of shopping trips and stuff like that. So again, I just didn't have the time or the mental energy really to sit down and record anything. And as January came along, something sort of similar happened. I've been entered into a week. It's not a weekly, but it's a rotation for weekend floor support. I started that in January, so it was like the Sunday at the beginning of a work week and the Saturday at the end of a work week. So it threw off again the first couple weeks of January. And then just this past weekend, not the one. Not this weekend, but the one before that, we had a kind of a heavy snowstorm here in Nova Scotia, where I live. The Saturday I was doing the floor support, so as I was the only one that was able to do it, I ended up going in. And on my lunch break, I walked up to just get some food from McDonald's, because they were the only thing I think that was open. So as I was walking up there and making my way back, I ended up slipping. The road had been plowed, so it kind of made the road itself a bit slippery, and I ended up slipping and injuring my left knee kind of badly, actually. So I'm going to start physiotherapy for that for about 6 weeks to see if it helps, and if it doesn't, then I'll have to go back and see my doctor about it. But so that kind of laid me up. I was gonna record a video that next day, but I was just completely out of the wasn't a possibility. All my stuff where I record is down in the basement, and I just was in no shape to go up or down any of the stairs. I mean, even now it's been over a week, stairs really still kind of bother me, but I wanted to get this out. And the biggest reason I wanted to get this out is there was a lot of support from people during the time that I was away, and I was really expecting basically my channel to die over the course of that time. And at first I saw that there was sort of a drop in subscribers, which is basically what I expected. But for reasons I can't even begin to fathom, I just started gaining them. And like the month of December, I think I gained almost 200 subscribers, and I hadn't put out a single video. And I even earned more from ad revenue than I have in any other month, which was unbelievable to me. So I just want to thank everybody that did subscribe to me during that time, the people that have been subscribed all along and didn't drop off, and for those that did send me messages either through my Facebook page or on the channel itself, just hoping that all is well type of thing. So I want to start getting back into recording. And I'm going to start here today. I'm going to record a couple of videos. My 3.5 retrospective, I am going to get back to that. It will be a video that I will record probably in the next week or so. I have to completely redo the whole script. Basically, I wasn't happy with the way it turned out. It was like 8 pages long, but it was all kind of dry, like rules change stuff, which, it's important that I discuss that a little bit, but I don't think I need to go into the kind of detail that I did. And it would have ended up being like an hour-long video, which would have just been kind of boring and tedious because it's just talking about a lot of rule changes. As I've been doing these videos, I've kind of discovered that the 3.5 era of Dungeons & Dragons is kind of one of the more uneventful or boring eras, because not a lot was kind of going on behind the scenes like with some of the other editions, but I'll touch on all that at a later point. Like I said, for now I just kind of wanted to go over some of the things that I've added to my collection. So we'll start with some DVDs. As a lot of you know, I am a wrestling fan, and haven't been able to pick up all the ones that I've wanted. They're becoming harder to find in the area that I live, and they don't get restocked like like I would hope they would. So a lot of times, if I don't have the money to pick them up when they come out, they end up being gone, and that's pretty much the end of it. But the ones I was able to pick up, I picked up the Sting Into the Light DVD. Which the first Sting one that came out was basically just a bunch of documentaries, or not documentaries, a bunch of matches. This one actually has sort of a documentary which goes over his career all the way up to his match at WrestleMania 31. So this is really cool. It's really interesting insight as to the Sting character and the evolution of the character. Really enjoyed this one. Okay, I also picked up the Monday Night War Volume 1. I believe there's a Volume 2 out, but it's never come to the area that I live in, and I'll probably have to end up ordering it online. But this was just a series of 1-hour kind of mini documentaries, if you want to call them that, which go over various aspects of, basically what was going on with the Monday Night War. So, it's got like the War Begins, Rise of the New World Order, the creation of the Attitude Era, Degeneration X, there's something on Mick Foley and Bret Hart. The Foundations of War is my personal favorite because it discusses mainly Sting and The Undertaker and their loyalty to WWE and WCW. But then there's like Stone Cold, Goldberg, and one of the Cruiserweights. So this is actually really cool. At the end of each of the episodes, there's a sit-down interview with Sting and Triple H, with Renee Young, and they talk about some of the different, kind of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes around that time as well. So this is actually really cool. So it's one of my favorite ones that I picked up for a while. Now, I also picked up WrestleMania 31, which took me forever to find. They never got it initially in the area that I live at, which I think it came out in May of 2015, May or June, one of those two, and I just couldn't find it anywhere. Like I looked, I kept going to the Walmart that I live in, basically on a weekly basis, hoping it was there, and it was just never there. Finally, in November, I made a trip down to the Annapolis Valley where I grew up, and went to the Walmart in New Minas, and they had this, so I finally snatched it up. I have all the other WrestleManias as well, so I've got like the big 21 disc set, and every WrestleMania from 20 forward in its individual DVD sets. So I was finally happy to pick this up, and of course 2 days after I pick it up, they have it down where I live, but that's fine. I have it. It wasn't the greatest WrestleMania, but I mean, for me personally, it was nice to see The Undertaker come back and actually look healthy versus the way he looked the previous year. So that was really good for me. But again, I have all the other ones, so I've got to keep adding to that collection. Speaking of The Undertaker, I also picked up this year's Survivor Series. It was the 25th anniversary of his debut, and there was a whole week of stuff on the WWE Network, which I don't have here. They have it in Canada, but you have to get it through like cable or satellite providers, and you don't get as much access, I think, to the content as the US version. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to, or I haven't ordered the network yet. If it was something that we could stream online in Canada, I would definitely get it in a heartbeat. But I picked this up. One of the things that it said is that there is an exclusive special feature, which I was expecting to be one of the things that they did during the week leading up to Survivor Series with The Undertaker. I was really hoping it was sort of the sit-down interview with JBL, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Triple H, because I listened to it on YouTube, and it was absolutely fantastic, but I would have loved for it to have been part of this. Unfortunately, that exclusive special feature is just the Survivor Series match that was part of the pre-show. So that was the exclusive special feature. If you were thinking of getting it, hoping that it was something, along the lines of what I thought it was, unfortunately it is not. Also, as far as DVD sets go, in Canada we do sort of a Black Friday thing. It's not quite to the extent that it is in the United States, but we do have some Black Friday sales. So I ended up picking up Game of Thrones Season 1 on DVD. So as you see, it's still wrapped, price tag's still on. I've had this since October. One of these days I'm going to crack it open and finally watch it. But normally a set like this goes for about $50 or more in Canada, about $45 to $55. So to find it for $19, it was like a no-brainer. So I picked it up, hoping to get to this at some point, hopefully soon. I picked this up, left. The next day I came back and just kind of looked to see if they had anything else, and I did find that they had a single copy of Season 2. So I've got Seasons 1 and 2. One of these days I'll finally get around to watching them. Now, as far as, so that's some of the DVDs that I've added to my collection. Now there's some of the video games that I've added to my collection, so we'll go over some of those. I ended up picking up Diablo. This is a Diablo 3. This is the Ultimate Evil Edition with the Reaper of Souls expansion. I've been sitting on the fence of getting this one for a long time. Finally just kind of pulled the trigger on it and absolutely loved it. I also picked up South Park: The Stick of Truth. This game feels basically like a series of episodes from the show. It's got all the voice actors. It kind of follows up after one of the seasons where they talked about, actually it was the Black Friday, I think, trilogy of episodes that they had in one of the seasons that ended with, them having the Stick of Truth, and this game's, kind of the follow-up to that. Really cool. It's very self-aware, so it makes fun of the fact that it uses turn-based combat. It makes fun of the fact that the protagonist doesn't ever speak, and everybody always kind of references that, so that's pretty cool. I also picked up Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. This is one that I was really kind of hesitant to ever pick up. A while back I'd gotten War in the North, and it was this kind of just a boring action RPG that I ended up just getting rid of and trading it in towards something else. Just because it was really kind of tedious and combat took forever. This one here is a lot of fun. I spent just hours going around just killing orcs, just for something to do, and it never got tiring to me. So it's really cool. I never got to finish it. I'm hoping to get back into it one of these days. And as a wrestling fan, of course, I had to pick up WWE 2K16. I don't have an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. I'm not really interested in those consoles, so I was glad that this did come out for the 360. It uses the same engine as like WWE 2K14 and all that, but this one turned out really well. 2K15 was sort of a glitchy, buggy mess that was very frustrating to play, because in the exhibition mode, and I think even in the universe mode, they don't, like in 15, all the championship names are switched around. So I think they announced the Intercontinental Championship is like the Tag Team Championship. The Internet Championship was known as the World Heavyweight title for a while. I don't know if they ever fixed that, but they never fixed that bug in general. So the other one was virtually, if you like to kind of play around with the exhibition and, create your own title matches type of thing, it gets really frustrating when they constantly call it by the wrong thing. This one turned out much better, and of course its showcase mode is all about the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So you only play as Stone Cold throughout the mode, but it goes over a lot of classic matches from his days in WWE. There's a few matches that you unlock from WCW, and there's even one of his ECW matches that are in there as well. So this is really cool, and again, as a wrestling fan, I pretty much had to have this one, so pick this up as well. Now, for when I talked earlier about the overtime thing, the reason that I did that was we wanted to do something a little different for Christmas this year. We didn't want to have just a bunch of individual presents for our little one or anything like that. So we actually ended up picking up a Nintendo Wii U. Now the box is going to be a little big, but we picked up the Wii U here, and we got the version that comes with Super Mario Maker, which is a game that we really wanted, gotten a lot of enjoyment out of. So that's one of that was the big, Christmas present basically for the entire family. But with that, we also did pick up a few games. So the games that we picked up. Just one moment here. Okay, so starting with the Christmas ones. My brother-in-law picked up Super Mario 3D World for us, which was really cool, a lot of fun. I need to get back into this one as well. So many games that I need to kind of get back into playing, but this one was a lot of fun. And it's up to 4 players, which is fantastic because we can play it with all of us as a family. So really enjoyed this one so far. For my fiance, I picked up a copy of Shovel Knight. This was a game that she's been looking for a long time. There was a demo set up at our EB Games for the, I think it was the PlayStation 3 version of it. Absolutely love this game, so we picked this up. I didn't even know that this was out as like a physical release. I thought it was just a digital download. I initially wanted to get her Yoshi's Woolly World, but when we saw this, it was like, pretty much a no-brainer. For our little one, we picked up Splatoon, a game that she has played before, and it's actually a lot of fun. It's nice to see kind of a competitive shooting game that's not ultra-violent. It's just about basically covering as much of the battlefield as you can in your team's color paint. So, this really enjoyed this one. It's a nice, wholesome and fun game that, she's able to play, and she's loved it. So, definitely enjoyed this. I played a little bit myself, and it is actually a lot of fun. With that in mind now, when it came to the game that I wanted to get, I didn't want to narrow it down too much, so I had written a list of games, and I just gave it to my fiance. It's just, pick any one of those and I'll be happy with it. It had things like Super Mario Bros. U, Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, NES Remix Collection 1 and 2, and I think it had, there's a few other games on there as well. Mario Kart 8, Smash Brothers, all those, and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. And those were all ones that I put on there and I'd be happy with, but there was one in particular that I really wanted, but I didn't want to indicate that was the one in case it was hard to find. But it was on the list, and I ended up getting it, and that is Hyrule Warriors. It's made by the people who did the Dynasty Warriors games, and I know that there's a lot of kind of backlash, towards the Dynasty Warrior games. This one I just had a ton of fun with so far. I haven't beaten it yet, but absolutely loved it. It's just, nice, mindless fun. But it's cool to see, the story mode, the way they set up, and, some of the iconic Zelda enemies and boss fights, and, there's some new characters in it as well. Really, really cool, really enjoyed it, and I was really happy that this is the one that I ended up getting. We also picked up a couple of other games outside of, after Christmas, and one of them was Assassin's Creed 3. It was only about $20, so we picked it up, and I haven't gotten very far into it yet, but it plays really well on the Wii U. We enjoy it so far. And another one that we picked up was Super Smash Brothers, so we ended up getting this. Almost felt like a no-brainer, and this game's been a ton of fun so far. So those are the video games that we add to the collection. Of course, the Wii U came with Super Mario Maker, which we've been having a lot of fun with as well. Alright, so with the video game stuff out of the way, there are a few figures that I've also added to my figure collection. I got this here in my Christmas sock, just some little Nintendo figures from New Super Mario Bros. U. So it's got one of the Toads, Lakitu, and Sumo Bro. And it just goes, they have some World of Nintendo play sets type of thing. These are just some little mini figures that can go with it. So this is pretty cool to have in my Christmas sock. Back in May for my birthday, my fiance picked me up this Kirby Bat Ninja Turtles figure. And I didn't have anything like this before, so, she picked this up for me. I guess it was the character that was April O'Neil's father before he got mutated, but, always cool to add to that collection of figures, so, really enjoyed getting this as well. For Christmas, and I can't believe it took me this long, but for Christmas, I was given this Splinter figure, or action figure. And I've had Ninja Turtles toys growing up in the 80s. I started buying some now for like sort of a smaller modern collection, and I don't think I've ever owned a Splinter, oddly enough. So she picked me this up, and I didn't like ask for it or anything specifically, but she picked this up because I never had one. And so this is really cool. It's from the Mutations line, so it comes with a few extra pieces. You can kind of mix and match them to have different things. This one comes with, I think it was a Michelangelo arm, but it comes with all the stuff that you need for the Splinter figure as well. So that's pretty cool. And lastly, for the figures, I was finally actually able to add the Raphael vintage, Eastman and Laird comic version to my collection. So I think in a previous video I had all the other three, Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Donatello. They got this actually restocked at the Walmart where I live, and it was on sale for about $2 or $3 off. So finally got to add this to my collection, which is a little overdue. It's nice to have all four of them, so I was happy to finally find that. Alright, and we're pretty much down to the end of it. Just a few kind of board games that, I've also added to my collection. So the first one here is Forbidden Island. It's a cooperative game, and I played with my brother-in-law and father-in-law, and I believe my fiance actually played with this one as well. It was fun, but it was extremely difficult, and naturally we ended up losing pretty badly, actually. So we've only ever played this one once. Like to give it another try one of these days. Might take out one or two of the Water's Rise cards, just because the more players that you have, the more you go through it, and the faster it is to basically end up losing, which is essentially what ended up happening. But do enjoy it. It was only about $20, so it didn't cost me the whole lot to pick this up, and hopefully we'll give it another go one of these days. Speaking of cooperative games, I also picked up Pandemic. Now this one's gone over a lot better. I played this with my brother-in-law once, and my brother-in-law and my father-in-law second time, so I've gotten a couple uses out of this one so far. Really fantastic game. We actually ended up winning both scenarios, and the one that we played with the three of us, we actually played through until we eradicated all the viruses, which was kind of a fun extra challenge. But this one was really enjoyable. One of these days I'd like to pick up Pandemic Legacy, but I know that that one might be a little bit harder to kind of get into, where it's like a longer term type of thing. But this version here is a lot of fun. Okay. Now, again, we do have a little one, and I want to get her into board game stuff like that. So we've picked up a couple of different games for her. We have like the standard Monopoly Junior, which I'm not a huge fan of because it's relatively mindless. I did pick up a copy of Catan Junior, which I unfortunately left upstairs, and that game's been a lot of fun. But I also wanted to pick up this, My First Carcassonne. So we have the regular version of Carcassonne here as well. But again, when I kind of want to get her into gaming, it helps with strategy and focus and stuff like that. So I picked this up as well, and hopefully we'll get a chance to try this out in the next few days. So again, just a fun little kids game, but it looks like one that's not as simplified as a lot of children's games are. So we'll see how this one goes over. Alright, last two things. These are things that I just acquired with a couple of days ago, along with that My First Carcassonne. I went down, I had an appointment to see my family doctor just a couple of days ago, and or yesterday actually at the time of this recording, but we were in for some forecast of potentially bad weather. So I ended up going to the Annapolis Valley on the Saturday and just stayed with my mother for the Saturday and Sunday, and into the Monday when I had my appointment. On Sunday, though, because the weather actually ended up being really nice where I was, not a single flake of snow, I called a buddy of mine, and we kind of went out and drove around, visited a few stores, and we dropped in on another one of our friends. And he gave me something that, honestly, I didn't even know about. And that is the Swords and Spells miniatures rules for Dungeons & Dragons. I have a copy of the chainmail rules, and I had recently completed my Zero Edition collection. But honestly, I didn't even know that this was a thing, so he showed this to me and just said I could have it. And, he only paid, I think, a few dollars for it. I think $5 or $6 for it, I think he said. So he gave it to me. I tried to offer him money for it, but he wouldn't take it. But I looked this up, and on eBay in Canada, I only found a couple listings for it. I'm not saying this is what they're actually selling for, because they may not be selling where the prices they're putting them at seem kind of high. But the prices that were associated with this on eBay were $80 to $100. Even the US version was about, I think, 70 or 60 to 70 and $80 there as well. So unbelievable find. He just got this from a local game shop. Somebody came in. I think this was with a lot of stuff that was just kind of sold off, and something that I can now add to my collection. But this is really, actually really cool. And again, I had no idea that this even existed, so I was really happy to get that. So if you are watching this, again, I can't thank you enough for this. So you know who you are. And the last thing that we picked up is going to be the subject of my very next video, which I'm going to record in the next few minutes after I do this, actually. I picked up the Magic the Gathering Arena of the Planeswalkers Battle for Zendikar expansion. So I found this. It was at a game store called Rainbow's End in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Fantastic store if you live in the area, or if you're visiting the area and you're a gamer, you should totally check it out. But couldn't find this anywhere else. Like I picked up my copy of the base game at EB Games, but they haven't gotten this one here yet. And so I picked this up, and like I said, I'm going to do sort of a review for it as my next video, which I'm going to record in the next few minutes. So I'm not going to go talk about this one too much, because I'm going to do a whole video for it. Anyway, I just wanted to do that sort of update, and again, I want to thank everyone who's watched and supported me throughout the last couple of months. I know it's been kind of a drought as far as the channel goes. Hoping that that'll kind of turn around now. So again, thank you all for your support and for watching, and I hope you have a great day. All right, thank you.